G'day everyone, Glenn from Solutions 8 again. I'm with Dan Nickus, our Facebook Klaviyo expert. We are going to do a bit of a deep dive into the Elite 7. So this is Dan's customized Klaviyo email flow. He's got a case study of a client that he's been managing for what, 3 years, 2 years now, Dan?
About 2.5 now.
About 2.5 years, right. And he's going to go through, show you the performance, I think the last 30 days, what you've been doing, and go in depth with the Elite 7 and how you build it all out. Take it away, Dan.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me on again. And so what I'm going to take you through is, so when we talk about flows, these are the automated flows that we set up based on the user's behavior when they come to your website. And based on what they actually do, what actions they take, we put them into different flows. I've got a rundown that I'll share with you. Is it all right if I share my screen and we can take them through?
Mate.
All right. To start with, this is the case study that we're going to be using. I'll just wait till that pops up for you. So this is a client that we've been running email marketing for the last 2.5 years. They're obviously very happy with it. They're based out of the US. And as you can see, probably the things that I want to make sure that everyone's aware of is that we're using the most up-to-date figures. This isn't, during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, when stats always seem to appear better than what they actually.
You haven't cherry-picked
I haven't cherry-picked a specific month. We're on, it's Valentine's Day in the States right now. And happy Valentine's Day, Glenn. So, yeah, we're going to 30.
No? Okay.
Sorry?
Did you get my card and flowers?
Not yet, mate. It must be.
They'll be coming. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. Last 30 days, they've done 1.8 million total revenue. This is a store that's connected to Shopify. Of that, we've attributed a bit over 32% of their revenues come from email marketing. When you break that down, nearly 19% has come from campaigns that we send out for them. The one bit I want to concentrate on today is this 81%, which is the flow. So this is the automated component.
So that's 81% of 589.
Correct.
Wow, that's about 450K.
It's a lot of money. And this is automated. So the reason that they perform so well with the flows is because it's super relevant to the user. So the user receives this email after they've taken a certain action on the website, after they've interacted with your brand a certain way. So when you receive this email, and I'll go through some different flows that we use based on these actions, and I'll show you on my actual brand's website what actions can actually take, and I'll simulate it for you. The great thing is that, we're always trying to get the right message to the right person at the right time. Now, these are super relevant because, as an example, the most basic one that we'll know about email marketing flows is when someone adds to cart and abandons the cart. We send them an email. It's very relevant to them because what we do is dynamically we put the product that they had in their cart back in front of them, or the products they had in their cart back in front of them. And then we speak to them personally. Sometimes we offer an incentive at different stages during the flow, but ultimately with one click, the person can go back to their cart. So we see really super high open rates and really high click-through rates because it's really relevant to that person. It's not a surprise. It's not an email campaign that doesn't apply to them. It's not someone they haven't heard from a while. It will hit them at a moment in time when they have just left and taken that action on your website. So it's going to be, you've just had a last touch point with them. You're creating another touch point. So it's not going to be this unknown factor to them, which is why we get such great results with it.
Yep.
Now, when we're looking at them, you can see here, let me swipe that. Now, we've got a few different things going on in this account, but fundamentally, I want you to look at what we call our welcome series here, which is like our leads retarget. And I'll take you through each one of those. We've got an abandoned browse. We've got an abandoned cart. We've got an abandoned checkout. We've then got post-purchase retention. Then we also have a win-back or a honeymoon flow for the people. We also then have things like this feathers one here is what we'll call our cross-sell upsell flow as well. So look, there's a lot going on there. Don't be overwhelmed by it all. And I'll take you through each of those different steps as we move through this call. But fundamentally, what I want you to look at is the results that we're getting from it. So, we're looking at when people come to our website, they haven't bought anything, but they've signed up, we're sending out 75,000 emails. We're getting 90 cents per recipient. Now, that one has seen a drop off because we introduced another one, but $68,000. Abandoned browse, so they're like our window shoppers, and I'll take it through. That's 128, nearly $129,000. Abandoned cart, 114. Abandoned checkout, nearly 81,000. So we're talking big figures based on user behavior. Now, when we're looking at all those, keep that in mind. These are our top ranking ones, and we can always add different components to it. But this is our starting point. This is when we build out a new brand. We take on a new client when we build them out to start with. This is the framework that they're going to get to start with. It then depends on the brand as to what direction we take other flows or what other messaging we try to send out. But this is not your campaigns. Campaigns are separate to it, and they also bring in revenue as well. When we're looking at it, so we'll start here. We call it the Elite 7. We start with the lead retarget. So this is people who have signed up to our list but haven't purchased. So they've come to the website, filled in a pop-up or a sign-up form, either in your footer, wherever it might be, but haven't purchased. And this is this one here that we're referring to. So it's our fourth biggest revenue generator for this client. As an example, this is my brand's website. So you can see people come, they go to the pop-up. After 10 seconds, it pops up. So we build out the sign-up forms or the pop-ups for them. Some have an incentive, some have informational guides they give out, some have free shipping. Whatever it is that you offer, people fill out the pop-up, but they don't purchase. They go into this flow. That's this one here. Really big generator. It's got the highest volume there because there is a lot of people coming into this website. The next part in the sequence is abandoned browse. So we'll call these window shoppers. So these are people that have come to your website. They haven't taken any other action except for come to your website and looked at a product page. We're not talking about home page or collection pages. We're talking about people that have looked at specific products. Now, we install some tracking on your website through Klaviyo. It's a bit of a script. And what it does is it picks up on this user's behavior, who they are, what their email is, what they've looked at. Similar to in the way that your Meta or Facebook Pixel works or your Google Scripts work to track people, track users with cookies around your website. So let's just say, for example, I come to here and I'm like, oh, I'll have to look at those. And I get to this page and I'm like, I got distracted. I need to go and do something else. I've finished my lunch break at work, whatever it might be. And I leave the website. We call that a window shopper. They fall into the abandoned browse category here. So that is one of our top generating flows. They've taken no more buying action. All they've done is look at the product. And you can see, because it's super relevant to the person, the revenue that it generates is huge because we're taking them straight back to that point in that buying journey that they're on where they dropped out. The next stage in it is abandoned cart. So this is a bit higher intent than just looking at products. They've actually put something in the cart. As an example, if I add to cart here, I'll go to my cart up here. If I've gone to the add to cart page, which is...
Got a few things in your cart, mate?
I've got a few things in the cart. I might have gone through and done it. Basically, when someone adds to the cart here, what happens is they're not entering any of their personal details in. Again, we track them. Now, this is different to what most people refer to as add to cart. What they're actually referring to is an abandoned checkout. So that's when someone adds to the cart, the script fires, we pick them up there. And you can see here, it's when they've added to cart. It's another high revenue generator for this brand. And this is the same across the board. We do see, these top four come out always within the top four for every brand that we run this for. The order of these might vary slightly depending on the brand, but these are part of that core 7 that we need to set up for you. And, they always do generate. So that's your abandoned cart. The next one is the abandoned checkout. So it's when someone does go to the checkout page and they do actually enter in their details. That's what we call abandoned checkout. Now, that is normally mistaken. A lot of people by default call that abandoned cart. It's actually not. This is when they've started the checkout. We've already got our abandoned cart there. And again, it works on scripts. Abandoned checkout, people have actually put their details into the checkout. Again, they've got a lot more intent. They're way up there in terms of the journey where they are. They're almost across the finish line for us. The other thing of note in here when you're looking at these is we've got email and we also have SMS attached to that. So what we do is when we get people to sign up, we'll also try and get their cell phone details. Then during these flows, we'll have an either or. So either someone has consented to email but hasn't consented to SMS, they'll get an email. Initially, we might send them an email, but for the second touch point within that flow, we might say, well, these guys have also given us their permission or consent to send an SMS. Let's not send them a second email. Let's send them an SMS this time. And then we'll move our way through there. So if we come back to here, the next stage is we welcome new and returning customers. This is often lost on people or lost on brands. They feel that the race is over once you've actually converted them. This is where we see a lot of easy wins because it's easier to convert an existing customer than it is to try and convert a new customer. So we've got in here our post-purchase retention, and that generates revenue there for us, as you can see. So this triggers after someone has placed an order. So, you know, there is, in the last 30 days, another $8,000 worth of revenue generated for this brand for people that have bought within that last 30 days. And a lot of people are like, why would they buy again? You don't know if you don't ask. So we ask them. And in that, we welcome them to the family. We talk about the reviews. We talk about other complementary products that we might have. You know, we're not talking about upsells or cross sells here. That comes, that's a different stage of the equation. But at this stage, we just welcome them in. And then during that flow, we'll tell them a little more about the brand story. And then towards the end of it, we can offer an incentive to get them to come back and purchase again as a reward for being part of the family, part of the tribe, a loyal customer, however you want to word it within your brand.
Yep.
The next stage is the cross-sell upsell. So this is generating more repeat customers. So I'll preface this with saying this whole system is designed, A, to convert leads into customers, B, to convert those customers into repeat customers, and C, to reduce the time period between purchases for those repeat customers. So we're looking at one-time purchaser, then a repeat purchaser, and then a multiple repeat purchaser. So we're increasing that frequency of purchase, but trying to reduce the actual time between purchases. Yep. So overall, we're trying to increase the lifetime value of those customers through this email marketing system. The cross-sell upsells work exceptionally well, and this is dependent on your brand. But this brand does very well. We cross-sell, upsell different products to them, complementary products to their range. So someone might buy one thing. We know that they didn't buy this other thing. This is something that we know converts really well. It's quite often brought together. We will show that to them. We will show other items to them that complement the original purchase. And you can see that, you would know that as a brand owner. Well, when people buy product A, they usually buy product B as well. Or when people buy product A, they might buy product B, C, and D. Now we can track that through reports on the back of your website. And a lot of you probably do it on your checkout already or on your cart. Did you want to add this on? You know, your upsell based apps or plugins that you use on your website, or your cross-sell based stuff. You know, we see them all the time on websites, frequently brought together. This is what you can add in. So we know what's happening there. So we replicate that in the flow here in the automation series with the cross-sell upsells.
Right.
The last one that we do run is a win-back. And this is for people that have previously, they'll pass customers and they've become disengaged. Again, our intention is to get repeat customers. So once they've become disengaged with us, we try to reintroduce them and try to get them to re-engage and become a customer again. We can do this various ways. One of the simplest ways is to offer incentive to get them to come back. A lot of brands sort of balk at, oh, you know, I don't want to have to offer incentives to get people to become repeat customers. And the simple conversation that we generally have with them is like, well, what's your cost per acquisition on paid social or Google to get a new customer? And they'll be like, okay, well, yeah, let's pick a number out. It costs me $50 to acquire a customer. That's, you know, average order value could be $150. It costs me $50 to acquire a customer. All right. The average order value is $150. Offer them a 10% discount to come back. the 10% discount is $15. And that's where sort of the light bulb moment goes off for a lot of brand owners. They're like, I don't want to offer an incentive, I don't want to offer a discount, but I'm happy to go out and pay another $50 to acquire a new customer. Why not just fork out $15 and you can have a repeat customer come back?
You've already got that brand loyalty.
They've already got it. You don't have to build trust with them again. You don't have to build engagement with them again. You don't have to convince them. All you're trying to do is just get them back. And it's not always a sinister reason why they haven't become a repeat purchaser. You could just be out of sight, out of mind. They might just not need that product at the moment. They might just need a reminder or potentially an incentive, like we just spoke about.
Yeah.
Then, so your cost per acquisition on getting that repeat purchase is $15. So when we frame it like that, a lot of brands come back and say, yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Yep.
So that's how we get them back. And then we constantly, this feeds a level of engagement with them as well. So that when we go send campaigns out, we exclude people that are in the current flows because they're getting really relevant information about their customer journey. Once they're out of these flows, they're very engaged with us and they'll start receiving what we'll call our business as usual campaigns or special offers or events, campaign strategy that we have.
Yep.
The other question we quite often get asked is, well, I don't want people in 7 flows. The simple answer is that they can't possibly be in 7 flows. The way we design these with the rule base that we set up for them is that when one door opens for a flow, another one closes. So that's an example of that. Let's say you're in here and you've signed into an opt-in form. You've been nowhere but the homepage. You'll end up in the leads retarget flow because you've never purchased anything. You haven't never added anything to cart, browsed, checked out, I've gone to the checkout, nothing. And they're like, well, what if they then go back, come back, we get them back to the website and they add something to the cart? Are they going to be in the leads retarget flow as well as the abandoned cart? And the answer is no. When one door opens for a flow, the door for the flow that they're currently in closes is probably the simplest way to put it. So
it's got conditional logic that if they're in this sequence, then they're removed from that sequence. And so they're not getting double ups, in other words.
Exactly. Because the messaging is not right then. Because we're talking to them at this level, you know, we're trying to build up the brand trust. So we're talking about the background of the brand, the pillars of the brand, maybe the unique selling propositions, about the reviews, about our payment options, all these different kinds of things. So we're talking to them as people that don't really know us. If they've come to the cart, the content in that email is specific about the product that they added to the cart.
Yeah, it's not a generic one.
It's not a generic one. So we're not trying to build so much, you know, brand awareness like we are here. We're actually talking about the stage in the customer journey they're in. If they then do go on to purchase, they'll receive a welcome email. The door will close to the abandoned cart. So it's all super relevant to them. They're not getting bombarded with emails. The length of the flows is the other question we get asked. You know, how long is the leads retarget flow? How long is the abandoned cart flow? And the answer is as long as it needs to be for your brand. And the way we determine that is we use a lot of data from our Google Ads account managers, and we'll look at that consideration window. So from the time of the first impression of an ad on Google to the time of conversion. So for my brand with Gearbunch, I know it takes on average about 16 days for a person to first see an ad to convert. That's a fairly good indicator of how long it takes someone to make in that consideration phase before they decide to make a purchase. For some brands with like high-end products, that can take in excess of 30 days because there might be a lot of consideration that goes into.
We've got some that go up to 60.
Well, there you go. And for the 60, we would have flow series emails that run for 60 days. Because during that 60 days, during that consideration phase, we want to be in contact with them. And that's not an email every day for 60 days, but we want to be in regular contact with them, creating touch points and talking to them about why this is the choice for them, why this is the product they need, why this is the product they want, what other people are saying about us. Did you know we have these payment options? Did you know we make the products here? Do you know we're a family-owned business? Do you know that we have been in business for this long? All of those things that go to barriers, that talk to barriers that potential customers might have when they're trying to make a decision about buying a product. Alternatively, you could have a product that has a consideration phase of 3 days. Well, the flows are going to be a hell of a lot shorter.
Yeah.
But we at least need to have the flows as long as what the consideration phase is.
Yep.
Because otherwise, if we go, you've got a client, take 60 days for them to make up their mind. Well, you know what? Let's give them 3 days of emails to try and convert them. Well, that doesn't make sense. It's, you know, it's a long game there. So we need to make the flows longer. We need to talk to them for a longer period.
So you've got all that consideration. It's the conversion lag you take into account. You've got these automated flows. Then you've also got your normal newsletters. You've got promotional emails that you're sending out. It's just a constant system that you're developing, and depending on, you know, what event is happening here or some sale that's happening there, and then there's new customer acquisition, there's retargeting, there's like a whole system and method going on.
Exactly. You know, we look at things like products are back in stock, new product releases, new designs, new product features. You know, there's always something to talk about. And we, especially with the campaigns, whilst our flows are very transactional based, so it's based on actions and we're trying to get them back into that buying process. Say they've abandoned the cart, or they've been a window shop, or they've abandoned the checkout. The campaigns should be more informational. So we're trying to maintain constant contact with them. So we're trying to train the users when they come into the system that, hey, you're going to receive regular emails from us. And what that does is it trains them to look for our emails. During the flows, we actually show them how to put them into their primary inbox instead of they might be in their promotions, so that they're looking for them, and we're giving signals to the system, hey, this is email that they want. We'll encourage them to reply to emails at different stages of the flows again, so that it sends good signals to the email service providers that this content is relevant to this user. In fact, not only have they opened and clicked on it, they're replying to it. So we'll ask them to reply at different stages of the flows. And then when we do run an event, like let's say the easiest one to talk about is Black Friday, Cyber Monday, by the time we get to that event, these new users have all been trained that they're going to receive emails from us. And in fact, a lot of the emails we sent out during that time are informational and helpful, like how-to guides, or are you having trouble with this, or we've got this new product that's been released. It's not always just trying to sell to them. Then when we get to those big sale periods, we've got this hyper engaged list that we can then go out to with this big offer or whatever it might be for your brand. And it's really well received, because we're not just holding off and for 3 months we've sent nothing, then all of a sudden we're trying to blast, you know, 100,000 people out with emails.
Yeah.
So like with your email service provider, and your user's not looking for it because they haven't heard from you for quite some time. So it's about this constant touch points. I think we spoke about it in the last one. Used to be a rule of 7. We needed 7 touch points with people, and that's why we changed our Facebook ad strategy. The latest data is telling us anywhere between 17 and 20 touch points to develop that trust and convert someone. Yeah. So this is just another part of the system, creating really solid touch points with them.
Mate, that's good. We have been rubbing on for quite a while now, so we won't bore our watchers any further.
Okay.
But that was good, mate. That was a really, really good in-depth analysis. Yeah, like I said in our previous, I've seen the results in these campaigns, and they're quite stellar. So
yeah,
you're doing a really good job there. And if anyone's interested in getting Dan to do an audit to see if you can squeeze any more revenue out of any existing email flows, if you're using Klaviyo, you're not, it's all complimentary.
Yeah, it doesn't cost anything to do it.
Doesn't cost anything. Dan will go in, he'll have a look and go, yep. If you're doing well, he'll say, yeah, that's fine. You don't need me. Or he might say, hey, yeah, there's definitely opportunity there. And I think we've had about 4 clients from Solutions 8 have onboarded recently. They're going to be utilising your services and utilising the system as well. So
yeah,
all good. We should have some more case studies to show people very soon, hopefully.
Ah, well, that'll be the key.
Yeah. All right, mate. Thanks for your time. Catch you next week, maybe.
Next week when we have another chat.
Let me know if you get my flowers in my cart.
Yeah, I already ate your chocolates. I bought them and ate them instead.
No worries.
Yeah, I need them. All right. See you, mate.
Okay, g'day everyone. Glenn from Solutions 8, and we're shooting this video to introduce to you a new member of the Solutions 8 team and family, Dan Nickus. Now, Dan is a Facebook Klaviyo expert, and as a lot of you may or may not know, Solutions Aid